Hello everybody and welcome to Echo Arena VRML 1. I'm Swift. I'm joined with Wonder Team Man on the comms, as well as Newton Dad. And Offbeat is here as well. So how you doing, Offbeat? It's my caster today that I'm working with. How are you doing?
Oh, doing great. Doing great. It's a nice mid-afternoon game for me here. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a couple of exciting EU Master games.
Absolutely, and this one is really something to look forward to. We've got Blast versus Vertigo today for you all, and this is a very hyped up matchup because we've seen them once, and the first time they played, it was Blast who took the victory, and Vertigo rumored to have it this time around as we get started already with round one. It's coming through, and Blast is the first one to look for and seeking through to the 2-point line is Beaver. That's going to be the first 2 points to Blast.
Yeah, I do believe it's Newton Dad that's supposed to be co-casting this first one, so we'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and
Oh,
take
my
over here. It's all right. Beaver getting the quick points out for Blast and Vertigo, both being undefeated up to this point in the cycle. So this game does matter on quite a few levels for the EU region. It will determine a lot of rankings going in. Lowrider with the disc now, moving forward and getting the first pass nice and clean down to Simon. Simon on the wall now, just getting stunned out for his efforts. Nilo grabbing that re-grab there, and Boop now sending it back up to Nilo. Nilo looking for a pass high, gets it and sends it back over across to Beaver. It is Blast working the zone very strongly, opening out here. Boop now biding his time, looking around. A couple of pump fakes there, gets a connection to the screen and connected for the goal. Dark for those 2 points.
Yeah, that was just a really good shot there, as I'm hearing myself. So, 1 second. I'll get that fixed.
Often disorienting to hear yourself in your own ears if you're not used to it, for sure.
Yeah, and, well, that's going to be evening out. 4-0 right now for Blast, and it's a really good start for them, as considering Vertigo, I think, probably expected to win this one, even though Blast took the first one. Vertigo has definitely been a force to be reckoned with, as we get started here once again. It's Blast setting up the offense, and again, here onto Pac-Man. Just looking to buy some time here is Beaver passing it into the bubble to Nillywick, and that's a 2-point shot. And that's not often that Lowrider's missing that save, but there you go. That's 6-0 now to Blast, and this is a really unexpected result here.
Most definitely. You don't see Vertigo coming out this slowly very often unless it's a massive team that they're facing, which is what they are doing right now, facing one of the best teams in the region, if not in the world at this moment. So we have the rollout coming out. Vertigo with the disc, got Lowrider tossing it across, misses the first pass to Galti, but the disc is intercepted now, brought back by Beaver, back into the zone. It will be a stack race. Actually, the Lowrider hanging out up there, I didn't see him up there, the shoulder geo, as they get the passes moving back through into the orange zone. Long shot, but not quite good. It is now the defense, Dark, holding it and moving it forward, just biding a little time, getting Boop across the way, and then crossing all the way across the arena to Nillywick, as they do work this disc very nicely, trying to move it into their offensive side, just being stymied a little bit by the defense, pressuring them super hard. So the disc being just passed back and forth along the ceiling there. A little dangerous getting close to the bubble. Finally, the pass going deep out to Dark. Dark moving around the trap zone. Not quite moving it out of the orange zone, though. Chooses to back it up under coverage. Boop getting the stun on, unfortunately, and then still moving the disc around in their own zone. Taking their time. They have the lead, so it's okay. Even if they get scored on here, it's not a huge deal, but then they do choose to move the disc all the way through quickly. The stacks are on. The steal is there. You heard the sound. And unfortunately, the disc is still just rattling loose in the blue side.
Yeah, fantastic recovery there we saw from Blasters. I think Dark lost his headset maybe, but here we come. Vertigo is going into the bubble, and Lowrider ready to receive that pass. Actually, no, it's going to be Steinman, but here comes the stack from Blast, and that's great defensive play there. They know exactly what they have to do. They have to dive onto them last second, because otherwise they're going to juke their way around it, as Vertigo does so often. And we've seen in pretty much every match so far, other than the top 3 teams, Vertigo has been very steezy, and we see none of this in this game. Vertigo are down 6 points at the minute with 6.5 minutes to go, and yeah, they're not getting any of that. They're literally hanging on for dear life, it seems, right now, as they're really struggling to catch up with the disc. I don't say that! Oh, that's going to be Louis shutting me up, and yeah, this is, by the way, Lomos has changed his name back to Lewis A&M Zero, so there you go.
Okay, well, good to know that, because the guys over here on this side of the pond are not following that as closely as you might. That defensive play, moving the disc back around in front of the goal, is so very dangerous, and they paid for it that time. Unfortunately, Louis Animo was right there to take care of it. Boop on the rollout now, getting the low bounce, but under heavy coverage. Vertigo rolling out super fast on that one, now moving the disc forward. Got the pass behind, and Lowrider just dipping and dodging and knocking that one in for 2. It is now a 2-point difference on this one, 6-4.
Yeah, just a beautiful play there from Vertigo and what we came here to expect, really, as this is a master battle. And I think it's worth pointing out, at the end of this week, the EU LAN, the Duckman LAN, will be, well, commencing in April. So at the start of April, there's the Duckman LAN, and the results for that are kind of assessed at the end of this week. So whoever's top six at the end of this week will actually be participating in that tournament. So yeah, definitely come watch that as it comes around. But here we see Vertigo putting on a little bit more aggression than before, as they seem to get a little bit more time, but a little bit of a miss pass here. The Vertigo stack's already back though, recovering, and immediately trying to get this pass off. In fact, maybe not, maybe a clear and boost here as Simon crosses this through to Lou, but just missing him there, as it's going to be Dark clearing it up here for Blast.
Yeah, some brutally fast stacks moving, as you see that one moving in for the team of Vertigo. Moving the disc back a little bit. Galti handling it there in the tunnel, just dipping and dodging back and forth, trying not to get stunned. Gets to the cross pass over to Louis. Louis passing back over to the top. Had Simon open, but didn't quite make the connection. The slap back just to keep it out of trouble, but it is picked up by Nillywick and pushed all the way through the zone. And now the stack race is on. High up at the top, but just a slap down from Blast. As the disc is free, gets in the hands of Dark for a moment, and then passed around and into the goal. So now 8-4 on the side of Blast with 4.5 minutes left to go in this round.
We saw once again here a little bit uncharacteristic of Vertigo, but they struggled to get back there. I wonder if that's because of stuns of Blast. I'm not really too sure, but Vertigo struggling to get back with their stack, and that's ultimately what caused that. But a very clean play to get around the existing defenders here of Vertigo, and we're now 8-4. Still definitely anyone's game, as we see Vertigo is coming back here, but that pass is just missed, and that's again another very uncharacteristic mistake. You can see that they're definitely being pressured, and more than any other game I think we've seen, that one was close as Lowrider just missing it, but luckily for them, just missing the goal. So it's actually going to be open mid, a toss up here, but it is going to be the Vertigo stack getting there first. Louis tosses it to Lowrider, who's getting stunned, but an excellent pass to Simon just in time. Simon tries to take it into the bubble, but not managing to get it to himself. But here comes Lowrider. Here's the pass to the back, and here comes Dark with that save on the interception there. And now coming back is going to be Louis. Once again, Vertigo not giving up here. Lowrider bringing it once again into the bubble. Simon looking to find his way. In fact, find some time here for Vertigo, as Lowrider trying to juke around, but for a little bit too long there. But Louis, another recovery, and another pass, and that's a beautiful play from Lowrider and Galti there, passing it through. What a recovery. About 3 recoveries there from Vertigo.
Amazing disc movement and passing. As you saw, the final goal was just the monkey with the banana finishing that one off, and it would just a really good way for Vertigo to stay in this round. They're looking at a 2-point deficit. They need to do something right here to keep it dead even or even move ahead in the score. Blast though, unfortunately for Vertigo, moving the disc down into their zone. So it is now it is Dark passing it back and forth under heavy pressure. The disc finally getting claimed by Boop and sending it back into the zone. A slap and a score. What a beautiful one-toucher by Nillywick out there just at Ghost. And a beautiful effort there.
Yeah, we saw Nillywick leave for a little bit for a couple of seasons, I believe. But he's back, and he's definitely back in full. We've seen him back for quite a while now. I'm not sure if he came back at the end of Season 4 as well. I'm pretty sure he was. Someone let me know in the chat. Someone will know that. As Lowrider passing through, and this time taking their time a little bit more with it. Not as aggressive as we usually see here from Vertigo, but definitely just as calculated. That 3-point shot not quite going through, as Blast leaving it open here. Maybe shouldn't be happening, but we see another one come through, and that's going to be a great shot from Beaver. So where Vertigo isn't taking their opportunities, Blast is hitting their shots, and that's really showing in this scoreline so far. They've had so many 3-pointers.
Oh, it's definitely. Blast is making it a difficult hill for Vertigo to climb. Vertigo not having a lot of time left, but still just a little bit to get this thing done. And if they execute perfectly right here, they can stay in this one. Very uncharacteristic of Vertigo having to make up a difference here, as both these teams, I said, are undefeated in this cycle. So this does make a difference. Right here, that shot off the ding ring, not quite good. Galti get the reclaim, but gets stunned out at the top. Nillywick pushing the disc back over to Boop. Boop pushing it all the way through, but the stack is there for Vertigo, so they handle the disc, and they have another opportunity to move forward. Louis and company just getting nailed on the back end there, but and the disc comes right back in their zone. The shot on, and it is passing, picked up by Louis Ammo, and then cleared out of there.
Yeah, really fantastic reading there from Louis. You can tell he's been playing the game a very long time. Absolutely shows in that dive. Beautiful play, and here comes the start. Look at that stack here from Blast. That was ridiculous. maybe even outclassing, maybe not outclassing, but maybe being a little bit faster than Vertigo's, even though Vertigo is probably one of the fastest stacks, if not the, in Europe. As another 3-point shot comes through, this one not quite hitting the line, but there's 45 seconds on the clock. All they have to do is waste time here as Blast looking to run down the clock once again. Here into the bubble, another 2-point shot here. Galti, great save and some good time wasting there as he tries to get his team back in form, but it doesn't seem to have been enough. I don't think we'll have enough time here. I think this first round's going to go to Blast as they try and find another great shot into the bubble, but Galti with an excellent save, and that's not quite going to be enough from Vertigo. Maybe a last shot here we see through, not quite going to go through, going to hit the shield, and that's going to bounce away. It's going to be Blast taking the first round 14-6, unless the 3-point shot's hit. No, I think it'll be 14-6 here as round 1 comes to a close here.
Yeah, I mean, but not for a great effort out of Vertigo. Definitely staying in this one and being a part of this game. I anticipate the next 2 rounds possibly being just absolutely as tight as this one was, in fact even tighter. So we'll see. 14-6 is the final score on the first round. Blast taking the first.
Yeah, really excellent play here. I believe we have Offbeat here for the sidelines. It's not the co-caster as I thought he was earlier,
next
but
game.
he's in the sidelines. But either way, Offbeat, what do you have to say about that round?
You're muted. Yeah. All right. Unfortunately, we don't hear Offbeat giving the sideline commentary, so we can just take that on our own backs here. The possession time being the main thing for Blast. Blast really making the most of the time that they had with the disc, putting the points on the board, but definitely Vertigo staying in it. Offbeat, are you with us now?
No, I don't think he is.
Yeah, I think I'm back.
There he is.
All right. So I wanted to call it quickly. Need to make sure you guys are staying hydrated, as we are getting the hydrates from the chat, specifically from Sharkboy, who also wants red for a second time hydrate. So get your water, casters. You need it keeping up with this, because these stacks have been flying. Some of the fastest stacks I've seen in quite a while. Both teams doing really well. Really, the edge is just slightly going to Blast, because as we've heard a lot, we've heard a lot. It's just been so close. They've just been missing their threes, just been taking a little too long to take the shot. Vertigo really needs to get that together and start actually finishing on those before the defense can get back and disrupt their plays.
Yeah, thank you very much for that Offbeat as the tunnel's open, and here it comes. Oh, Vertigo with immediate play. They're going to take those 2 points for what they can get, and that's Lowrider sinking it in for 2 in 6 seconds. So, as you mentioned there, Offbeat, the speed of these teams are just absolutely incredible. And I'm just going to say, these are the 2 fastest teams in Europe, without a shadow of a doubt.
Without a doubt. The Spark registered at 1.55 second joust earlier. That one, I believe, registered at 1.64. So these guys are coming out super fast out of the tunnels in these neutral jousts and making it happen. As the disc gets just free in the mid zone there, very uncharacteristically out of possession, but then passed immediately, unfortunately, from one team to the next. So maybe the jitters of round 2 are getting settled in is a little bit slow to start up, but we do see the passing happening now. Boop moving it forward, just missing the pass again to his friend on Blast there, but not happening. So it is Lowrider claiming the disc and watching the teams move forward, just spending a little time baiting out the defense, gets the bite, and then they move it back even further. A deeper reset. It is Galti now looking at the same defensive stack, and then pass completely across the arena. So the disc movement is good, but unfortunately that one broke free just as the caster curse happens. Boop crossing it around, finds the connection to Dark to Niluk, and that is points on the board. 2 each now.
Incredibly beautiful passing there from Blast. Really not much else to say. That was just really unfortunate there for Vertigo, and like you said, just really uncharacteristic to be missing their passes like this, and they can't be missing it in these scenarios. Galti holding it back to bait the stack, very good play, and very commonly done against these really fast teams, because you have to bait the stack, because otherwise they're going to catch you midway with that pass. But yeah, they really need some time here, and that's kind of showing as they're missing passes that they just wouldn't otherwise. As Blast is looking to take their spot, their number 1 spot in the league standings, as Simon goes for a fake shot there, but he doesn't get enough time. Maybe the comms possibly not coming through quick enough, or maybe can't come through quick enough, because Blast is just so fast on this stack, and one of the only teams that's actually matching Vertigo. And another interception for Beaver here, who I think is one of the MVPs of this game. We've seen so many interceptions at the midline by Beaver, and they're looking to attack here into the bubble of Vertigo.
Yeah, the speed at which this game goes and the reads that happen are so impressive. You see Dark moving around and looking for what's going to happen. Just uses a reset because they doesn't like what they're looking at. Beaver then back on the back line again, just looking for the team to settle in and find a little opening, getting somebody to bite out on this defense. Nobody's coming out on Beaver, so Beaver just wanders in a little bit at a time. It could wind up dangerous here in a second as they get closer and closer to the bubble. Daring Lowrider down in the goal, did a little spin there on the ceiling, but everybody's just kind of hanging with who they're hanging with. The man defense, Galti finally moving away from their offensive player as the rotation goes through. Dark getting a little hand on there, but under heavy pressure. Boop now grabbing the disc. Dark with the reclaim there as they're coming out invulnerable. Holy moly, the passes are going crazy here as Blast is moving around in the zone. Niluk then resetting it back a little bit to Beaver. They slow it down just a little bit. 2-2 still. So this is a key play here to determine who's going to take the lead. As you see Niluk on the wall, pushing it again back to the reset. It is back over to the side again. Niluk taking the shot, and the shot is good.
That is that's really unfortunate. For Galti caught it and maybe let it go behind him, or let his hand go a little bit too far back. But man, a blistering shot coming through for Blast. I mean, it must have been, because Vertigo don't make those sort of mistakes very often. And I mean, we keep saying this, and it's true. You know, Blast, the only team right now that's putting Vertigo in this position, and I think it really shows a rivalry between these two teams, because it's not like Vertigo is completely out of it, and I wouldn't expect them to be. They were champions for 4 seasons under the Gravity name, so I don't expect them to be holding off anytime soon, and they really want this game, because they really want to be the number one. They want to hold the number 1 spot, whether they're under Team Gravity or Vertigo, as Galti looks to bring this in. Simon looks a little bit open there, but Boop actually going to be able to get that stun. Not sure what happened there. Bit of miscommunication perhaps, but here comes the stack from Blast. Is that shot actually not going to be a shot coming on target? Smart decision there as that play just comes through from Vertigo. Their stack just coming back, and a really good laser of a back pass here, which I think is what we're seeing missing from Vertigo. Just the accuracy on the passes, and it's pretty strange, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of bananas, you know, how the passes don't quite make it all the way.
Oh.
That one being a ding on the shot there, and unfortunately for them, that would have been a big point there as Beaver now reclaims it on the back line and bounces around, finds Niluk on top, and takes that point, so the points do wind up on the board. 6-2 now, Niluk handling that one. You know, this is halfway through in this second round. We're looking at Blast up on the first round, so if they take this round, it is over. If not, we go to round 3.
Absolutely, and I'd love to see a round 3, and of course so would Vertigo and the Vertigo fans. There's plenty of them in the chat. There is Loretta getting this pass off and looking to buy some time. I mean, this is all that Vertigo's trying to do really so far. They're trying to keep the aggression, but also stay a little bit further back and maybe bait out these stacks. It doesn't seem to be working so far, but that one could have hit the mark as Boop not quite there fast enough, but that is going to be a back pass, and a miss there from Vertigo is going to allow Blast to push through once again, as this Vertigo stack looking hungry here. For Boop, and now Louis looking to clear this one away. A really good stun there from Simon's going to mean that the Vertigo stack's going to get there country mile faster, and Louis being covered there up front, trying to find himself a position here as a great pass comes through from Lowrider, and a back pass coming through once again as Simon looks to find some time. Hits the head, one of the players, but luckily that's going to go straight into the hands of Louis, and a great cross. Lowrider's going to hit that shot. That's going to be 2 points for Vertigo, and now finding themselves just 2 points behind Blast.
Oh man, what a recovery! Even after getting the pass not intercepted, but just interrupted, and then the recovery to get that disc back into your own teammates' hands and and to set up the cross pass to the shield, just amazing poise and situational awareness. You see Blast coming out, doing what looks like the ace play, rolling upside down and stacked on the ceiling there as they move around in their own zone. Under some heavy pressure, the stack moving back and forth for Vertigo, finally broken that stack, but they do reform very quickly. The passing going back and forth left and right. You see Blast moving forward. They're working their own stack as well. Pass going again back, but man, that stack from Vertigo is menacing. It's all Blast can do just to keep this disc moving and keep it going from one player to the next. Good stun out there on Simon against Simon as Nillywick breaks forward and gets the numbers advantage just briefly. Up again, Beaver handling the disc, moving around behind the goal. The disc is free momentarily. Picked up again by Beaver. Beaver moving around looking for the friend. Doesn't find it just yet. The defense is too strong. Galti handling the clear. The boost and clear is ready. The stack is there. The shot forward on the relay. Looking good. Oh, the shot is just good. And then off the head of Beaver, but it does count. So what a great turnaround for the even game now. 6-6.
Absolutely, and we saw kind of similar to what happened to Galti earlier, but here I think going off the head of Beaver, so not quite as unfortunate for them, but either way, it's 6-6 tied up. That's exactly what we want to see in this game. And Blast are being so controlling, but they seem to be losing it a little bit. Maybe Vertigo catching on as this intercept almost coming through. And it not going to quite be enough. Galti is going to actually stick back here and stay in goal. Very, very good play by them. Beaver trying to find his way forward as it's passed into the bubble once again. Finding Dark, and then Niliwick is cut into the bubble. Niliwick again using his stuns really well. Niliwick getting a stun onto Louis and just buying him so much space. And this is, I think, what's allowing them to get so many points into the bubble, because this Vertigo stack is really hard to deal with, but they seem to be really good at stunning, and they have that upside down stack, which I've heard can be really difficult to play against. So maybe this is what's throwing Vertigo off here, as another pass coming through and a quick play, forced a quick play here from Vertigo.
Yeah, the quick play, the upside down play, you see Ignite playing that way a lot these days, especially in their stack meta. They do their double stack, and a lot of times upside down, both of them. As you see the disc moving around now on the side of Blast, but Vertigo with the disc is nice read and pick up from the defense. Beaver handling that one and getting it out to the trap zone. But Galti is there in the zone, picking it up, passing to Lowrider. Lowrider over to Louis. Louis looking around, has a 1-on-2 or 2-on-1, and Louis takes care of that one on their own. It's now 8-8 again. A minute and a half left. So the points in the next score really makes a big difference.
Absolutely, 1.5 minutes to go, and again, Beaver with the interception, not quite working out. They didn't manage to get it out their bubble, but that's just saved them so many points in this game. Their ability to read Vertigo, it's just massively surpasses any other team we've seen so far in the Master Tier. Is boop. Oh, looking to get it away. Lowrider isn't going to miss that shot. I think that was a dab as well from Lowrider. So that's definitely a way for them to get 3 points. It's going to be really difficult now for Blast to get a 3-pointer onto Vertigo, but we'll see what they can do.
Indeed, indeed. The pressure is now on Blast to finish this one up on the positive side. They have about a minute to take care of it. They do take it out, and the double stack upside down again goes to the left side. Boop handling it now as the stack sits back. Doesn't yet take the race. They do manage to make the first pass down on Niliwick. The stack is all the way through, but the back stack is there, ready for it, waiting, moving it forward. Lowrider handling the shot off the top of the ceiling there. Back stack for the side of Blast reels that one in. They have 35 seconds to make something happen here. Time is not on their side any longer. They need to make something happen. The trench shot, not good. It is turned over to Louis.
Well, I was just thinking, I thought Lewis was going to turn around and make an own goal there for the 2-pointer. I thought that's what was going to happen, but apparently not. It's going to be cleared through. At least I think he thought about it, as we see Vertigo in the bubble, and it's not quite going to be enough. Beaver getting a stun, but Louis able to recover this here for Vertigo, and Galti trying to find an angle. Doesn't really matter. All they have to do is waste some time here. They can score if they want, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We will be going to round 3 unless we see something stupid happen. And we see Dark get the disc, but it's not quite enough. Offbeat, what do you think about that round? A great comeback from Team Vertigo.
Yeah, it really was. And I mean, we saw a lot more consistent play from Vertigo out of this round. They weren't losing the disc nearly as often in the offensive zone. And we saw this kind of across the board with both teams, where both teams were definitely taking advantage of their opportunities in the fact that whenever they had time to get set up, get around the bubble, I think you'd probably look and see about 90% of the time you were seeing a successful goal off of that. The scoring wasn't as high as we've seen in some rounds, but that's because the teams really decide to slow it down here in this second round. They slowed it down. They took about good 30 seconds with their zone time, moving it around. Passes were crisp and on points this round, so we didn't see a lot of turnovers because of missed passes, which is something you will often see here at the master level. The saves were there across the board, but even then, it was just a very good controlling game from both teams. I think really Blast didn't necessarily get worse this round. It's just that Vertigo finally started playing up to the potential they had all.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw them with an outstanding round there. As I think one of the key things to point out, Blast had a really tough time clearing it out of their bubble, it seems like, this round. And I think that probably also contributes, as tunnels and Brats are open for round 3. And, you just know it's going to go to round 3 with these teams. It's just an outstanding game. And, yeah, take it away.
Yeah, as they come out of the channel, the disc is now moved forward by the team Blast. 1.63 seconds on that joust, a very fast joust, and the fast points come in as Niliwick handles those first points and gets Blast on the board to set the tone for this round 3. They look like they mean business here.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, we have seen that every single round so
That's
far.
true.
So uh, they're just so quick. It's kind of a 50-50 chance because of how close these teams are. Usually it's Vertigo just running away with it, but both team stacks are pretty much on par, I would say. One is usually faster than the other, but that's just down to kind of what happens at the time and where the players are positioned, rather than whose stack is actually faster. As we see Lowrider come
Oh.
through with this 3-point shot, that's going to be an 18 ms 12-meter shot going straight into the goal of Blast. And Vertigo also letting them know that they mean business, and now it's going to be the joust advantage here to Blast.
You know, to me, the poise that Vertigo is showing, it shows control, it shows calm, it shows that they're not playing at their absolute edge and having to make these panic decisions. I seem to feel like that Blast is playing a little bit more at their edge. It's coming out on their side, and it's actually working for them at the moment. But you know, it just feels like Vertigo just has a little bit, tiny bit more poise and control in their gameplay at the moment. As you do see, very beautiful disc movement. Dark working the give and go, has the disc now moving into the goal area. The goalie dives out, it just misses it, and Dark slams it in for the 2-pointer. It's now 4-3, so you know it's a back and forth, and that 3-pointer may show up a few times here as the lead change happens.
Yeah, not much you can do about that, really. Galti just had the opportunity to leap or kind of just try and save a 2-pointer from 2 meters away. Either way, diving out, best decision there, but just unfortunately wasn't able to grab it. Those goals do hurt sometimes, though, but as we've seen multiple times from Vertigo, they don't tend to give up very easily through these games. As we saw last round as well, they just issued an outstanding game against what was actually quite a blast-sided round in the first round, in terms of possession, definitely. And I think that's where we see Vertigo's cleanness come through, as they end up with less possession and somehow more points, and that's kind of what we see. It's not by much, but there's definitely a considerable amount, about 5% less possession. Doesn't sound like a lot, but in this game it is, and Simon looking to dime it into the goal, and actually Galti getting a couple stuns here, going to rush Blast a little bit here, as they do try to get this cleared away, not quite going to be all the way through. And here we see Blast being pressured so much. Again, this pass not going through really how they want it. Simon not able to catch that, as that one's coming through. And actually, Vertigo getting possession for a little bit. Oh, and Galti, that's a really key steal there. The Blast stack was already down, so that would have been basically guaranteed 2 or 3 points there for Blast. Excellent play here from Galti to intercept that, but here we see another clear come through, and it is going to be Vertigo getting there first. And it's actually, the Blast stack's going to get delayed by quite a lot, so they do have quite a lot of time to come back here. Lowrider with the disc here, just faking a 3-point shot, coming through to the bubble now.
Yeah, passing it back and now resetting to Galti. Galti working under 2 people pressuring them. Pass forward to Simon is good, but the shot is not good. The cleanup is there for Louis Ammo, and that end is good for 2 points. So it is now 5-4 on the side of Vertigo. Again, you're seeing very clean disc movement on the side of Vertigo. They're moving the disc around the floor, seemingly at will. They find those open lanes somehow, but the reads haven't been coming as quickly as they did maybe in the previous rounds that we saw from the side of Blast. You know, Beaver being so deadly in that back in that defense. We'll see more of that, I'm certain, as the disc now is rolled out and passing around for the side of Blast.
And oh, here comes the interception once again. A 3-point shot coming through. That's going to be good. Louis going to take 3 points. And Vertigo trying to run away with it here as much as they can, at least. It definitely seems a celebration from Simon there. I'm not quite sure what that was, but hopefully the camera caught it. That was seemed pretty good in the corner of my eye, but there we go. As it's going to be, yet again, joust advantage. And actually, I want to take a second to talk about the joust advantage against these teams, because it becomes a little bit of a disadvantage. You don't have a lot of time whatsoever. Yes, you start with a disc, but it's very difficult to get an actual play underway in the little amount of time you have because of how fast these stacks are on both teams. When you start with the joust, it can be a lot of pressure, and not a lot of teams can actually handle that. That one may have been going in, but actually, boop, back in goal. It's going to be Louis wasting a little bit of time there, putting that one in for 2 points. So a great play by Louis. And again, just I think maybe stuns coming out, or the stack not quite being able to form, but either way, not quite getting back in time. That's going to be Vertigo finding another 2 points.
Taking a look back here, a step back from things, and looking at the score, 10-4. You know, it's 2 3-pointers. It's the difference between the 2 teams right now. But it's hard to get those 2 3-pointers back to back without having some score on you as well. So we see Blast making an effort to get through into the blue zone, but they don't quite make it there. Simon and Louis are there in a nice stack. They're moving the disc forward. Louis claiming it on the ceiling there, making the shot, but not quite in the right spot. The bounce back does come back into Boop's hands and is cleared almost all the way through. Looks like, well, it'll make it all the way through. This Dark is in the neighborhood, doesn't have a stack partner though, so the blue stack does make it through, and the disc is back in Galti's hands. He has a look at it from the side, considers that three-pointer from half court. Sees a man in the middle, though. Beaver back there to reclaim that one for the defense. Good, beautiful read from Beaver there. Moving around the ceiling now, looking for the pass, gets it, and Dark is now moving it through into the other side.
Look how defensive Vertigo being here.
Yeah.
Louis just riding back here. They know exactly what's coming, and this just shows that Vertigo, they have so much opportunity to kind of change their game plan. Louis just diving a little bit too far forward there. Again, the dive, I'm not sure was the possible best option there, but in the moment, possibly. Either way, that's going to be a great passing play there. We're seeing from Blast, and we're really seeing Vertigo shine through here. Their ability to change their game plan based on the current way that the other team's playing, it just shows their experience, and this is why they've won 4 seasons in a row. Possibly looking to take this one. Well, definitely looking to take this one, without a shadow of a doubt. But Blast definitely ain't making it easy. Not as easy as it was last season, as Boop coming through with a 3-point shot. And this one's definitely not going to be easy to take in here for Vertigo, as again, the stun shutting down the stack of Vertigo. They're not able to get back for defense.
Yeah, and the difference there is now a 1-point game. So this thing is absolutely becoming a nail biter. We see that 1 point showing up, that 3-pointers. Sometimes they show up over and over and over in the game, and we see it right here, a 1-point difference. Lowrider handling a disc, getting it immediately read by Beaver. Beaver with the hot stack coming through, looking at walk in, and they do have it. The little help from Dark, keeping the defender, the goalie, from diving out, and it is now 11-10 on the side of Blast.
Yeah, and I think that showcases kind of the inability to grab someone if you're upside down, and Beaver's really taken advantage of that. As Vertigo, maybe this is where their weakness, maybe this is everyone's weakness, as it's kind of a little bit unconventional. We're seeing it more and more, but Beaver playing the whole game upside down, it seems to really be working. They're stacking upside down as well with Dark. So yeah, it seems to be really throwing them off, because when you flip upside down, your head moves much more. It's much more difficult to get that stun, and it's harder to grab the legs because the legs don't kind of dangle down like they do if you're the right side up. So he gets a huge advantage from that, and he's definitely making it work here, even though it's a little bit unconventional. Simon here backing it out to Lowrider, and here we're seeing the control that we see usually from Vertigo. Louis not quite able to get this pass in, actually maybe for a little bit there, but a great dive from Niluik. And this is going to be, maybe not a clear, as Lowrider with a great read there and coming through, trying to get this pass on through. Most of the Vertigo players actually uncovered there, and a slap shot from Simon to close it out. That's another 2-pointer. Vertigo finding themselves a point up now.
Yeah, I feel like that's the theme we've been seeing all day, is that the good defensive play will come through, and perhaps a save or something, but the clear is not all the way through to get the disc out of the zone, and so it's the other team picking up the treble disc, the open disc, and bringing it right back for the points. So there's really great defensive moves are not paying off ultimately in the long run. Beaver now moving the disc forward. Does have a nice long pass forward to set up for Dark in the zone. Dark walking in under pressure with the goalie and just tucks it in there under slam dunk while the stun comes out. So now 13-12 with Vertigo on the downside of this. We'll see how they answer this one back.
You have a tough dunk there for Dark, and again the upside down dunk, really difficult thing to deal with. And Dark showcasing that there in that 1v1. Not many 1v1s we really see won, and especially recently. As in the past seasons, there are some outstanding goalies, and especially in Europe, must I say. But yeah, there are some outstanding goalies, of course, everywhere. But we've seen in Europe it kind of develop, and there was a little bit of a goalie meta for a little while in Europe in the past couple of seasons. But we're seeing it less and less now, as the teams kind of find a way to bypass this with not only passes, but their own body movements. As that's going to be Dark finding another 2-point shot, not quite going to be 3, so a little bit easier here for Vertigo to come back, but it's definitely not going to be easy in terms of how coming back goes in this game.
Yeah, Dark turning that 3 into a 2, but guaranteeing the points. So, the points are important to have. If they let it go, it's possible it might have gotten read by the defense and picked up. Lowrider working the QB action here and passing it forward off to Simon. Simon now up to Louis. Louis looking at a shot, but actually has a lot of defensive players in the zone. That is picked up and moved back into the other side by Boop. Boop making the connection to Dark. Dark again working that side they like so much. Doesn't quite get it done this time. Louis claiming that one as it's a little scuffed. Gets it into the center of the arena. Niluik now with a hand on it and moving it back on into the blue side. So it is now going to be Beaver handling it high. Got the clear shot and took care of business right there. Now a 5-point lead. There is no mathematical time. That will be the game for Blast. 2 rounds to 1.
That's, I really didn't expect that. Niluik again with some outstanding stuns. We could have really seen a 3-point shot there. It was a 1v1 brawl battle, I believe, between Louis and Niluik. Niluik won it on goal, ultimately declining the 3-point shot. and just an outstanding play again. We're seeing some really good individual play shine through for Blast, and also some really outstanding stacks, and they're able to use what advantages they've got, and they've definitely got a few, as they're able to beat Vertigo as the leading team right now in Season 5. So yeah, what did you think about that offbeat? I'm not sure if you're here, but
I
if you
believe
are...
we lost Offbeat. He did chime in to say he is not going to be able to finish this one. So
Oh.
it's up to you and me, Swift, to kind of wrap this bow up on this one. And unfortunately, perhaps Swift's camera. There he is. Swift is with us there. Yeah. So we just we saw Blast taking the game from Vertigo. Vertigo #1 in the region. Now Blast being 5-0 and Vertigo being 5-1. So that will start changing the look of the leaderboard there in the EU region. But we're going to move on. Also, our next game is we're following Blast in a doubleheader. So we'll see them play Team Gravity up next. But this one ultimately came down to Blast finally executing on the plays in that final moment, in the couple moments leading out of that third round, and just getting it done just enough. They definitely had their hands full today.
Yeah, definitely, and we really haven't seen Vertigo lose like that ever. So here we come, and yeah, as you mentioned, we are following Blast here to fight Team Gravity, and Blast massively favored in terms of the votes to win that one, but I don't think it's going to be incredibly easy, although Blast has won this one against Vertigo, which is going to give them a huge morale boost into the other game. Let's see if they can keep up with the stamina, and I reckon with these players, they absolutely can. They've got, in fact, a couple of young players on Blast, and a couple of players have been playing since Alpha, and Boop definitely mentioning there, Niliwick as well joining him in the old leagues. But yeah, as we move on to the next match, and I think that's all I've got to say, so we will be back in a few minutes. Goodbye.
Easy going right there. One more to go.
VRware. Our passion is for the future.
Easy going right there.
VRware. Our passion is for the future.
Yes.
Easy going right there. One more to go.
VRware. Our passion is for the future.
Yes.
Easy going right there. One more to go.
VRware. Our passion is for the future.
Hello everybody and welcome back. Sorry about that delay. We just had a Simon still in the lobby for a little bit there. Nevertheless, I'm Swift. I'm joined once again by Newton Dad and Offbeat on the side cams. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, I'm doing good. It's we just had to get the vacuum cleaner out there because they left a mess in the blue lobby, and so get the Team Gravity in there and make sure everything's nice and tidy before we get started. But yeah, another fun game set up here. Another absolute barn burner, I'm sure, to be in hand here as Blast and Team Gravity. Blast just taking care of Vertigo right there, and definitely I'm sure ready to take care of business here against Team Gravity. The top teams. This makes a big difference in the total rankings of Master Tier. It'll lead up into the land there in the EU region. Yes, it's like this is the biggest Saturday I've seen on hand and in quite a while in this region.
Absolutely, and Blast is going to be coming through on fire right now, at least I assume, because they just won against Vertigo, like you mentioned. And that was a little bit unexpected. They did beat them in their first game, but yeah, no one was expecting to come through with it twice. It was a close game, definitely not taking anything from Vertigo. Outstanding game from both teams, but yeah, it must have been a tough game for Blast. I'm wondering if this will benefit them, or maybe not, because that must have been a tiring game. They played to 3 rounds, and they had to play hard to win that one, so... we'll see how they perform here against Gravity. Gravity, of course, being... This is a little bit of a confusing match if you're coming through from maybe Season 4 or Season 3, and you remember Gravity, and you're like, wait, didn't Gravity just play? Well, yes, but their name is Vertigo. So, yeah, there you go. Gravity, entirely different team, except from Viatrax now. So, here, we're seeing, once again... maybe Gravity will put up a better fight against Vertigo. The odds are against them here in terms of the votes, but we've seen odds get defied as we did last round plenty of times.
Yeah, I mean, be careful who you vote for in those prediction points, as we do see a member of Blast falling out of the arena, so that's going to cost us a little bit more time. We're going to get to hang out here just a little bit longer with you guys. But yeah, the last game being Blast, being put on Blast by Vertigo and really having to work hard for the whole thing. Offbeat, what did you think about Blast and how they had to work so difficultly, so long, and how it might bode against them going into this team with the game with Gravity?
Yeah, it's something that is always a bit of a trade-off when you're looking at scheduling games. I know a lot of the teams, especially here at the EU Master level, they do really love scheduling these back-to-back games, but it is kind of a trade-off where if you get some games that are going really long, you can really wear yourself out, even if, like, I know for a lot of people lower levels who are playing exclusively on Quest, battery can start to become a bit of a concern. Even up here at this level where it's not as prominent of an issue, yes, you can definitely get worn out from games, but I think one of the big other things is you can also take a lot of mental baggage from one game into the other. You kind of lose that ability to do a full reset that kind of getting off and taking a breath can give you. Now, that being said, Blast is coming out of this on top, now sitting as the only undefeated team in this cycle of EU Master with a 5-0 record at this point. So it's a bit...
Unfortunately, I think we did just lose Offbeat there. He's having a little bit of mic difficulty, but making his point, it's a little difficult to overcome somebody who is on such a roll. Blast, definitely taking this, this cycle, this Master Tier cycle, in their own hands here today, and now 5-0, defeating the 5-0 team in Vertigo, so bringing them to 5-1, so that they can make themselves 6-0 and be absolute at the top of the rankings here today, or they can wind up as 5-1, and this could be a very tight race moving into the final week of the cycle 2 being week 8 being the final week next week. We see these things start to shore up and really becoming a lot more important in the long run. How are you feeling about that, Swift?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the previous games, and it's kind of funny because the last time they played was, of course, this season. Teams played each other twice this far, of course, because we've been in 2 cycles so far in Master Tier. Blast took it last time with 30 to 26 points, so it's certainly not running away with it. In fact, it was in 2 rounds, but the second round was actually losing 1 point. And then before that, the last time these teams have played, even though not with the same rosters, was preseason 2019. So interesting history we're seeing between these 2 teams, even if they're kind of nowhere near the same rosters. But we see Boop hanging on for Blast, and we've seen Viatrax, of course, for Gravity, and there's a tunnels open, and here comes Dark, just showcasing their speed as we saw last game, and Nilwick coming through, not quite able to handle it, Scub's going to be able to get a stun on there, and now we're seeing Gravity trying to pull it back.
Yeah, Gravity pulling it back and passing it all the way through the zone. Neelywick back there to claim it and clean it up and sending it all the way, almost all the way through. The stack was there on the side of Team Gravity. Nice quick stack as we saw in the last game, and just as clear as in this game. So all these guys are absolutely on top of their game as far as regrabbing go. Scubs taking care of that one, putting it in for the first 2 points for Team Gravity, and Team Gravity setting the tone. Timeout immediately. So
So I think Finn mentioned earlier on that she had to sub for JBL before for Team Gravity in a scrim. So maybe we'll see that once again if that's allowed. But apparently JBL's on a different headset. He's usually on CV1 and it broke, so he's on Rift S. Wildly different headsets in terms of tracking, so we'll see how that goes in terms of the passing plays from Gravity. So far, they've not really tanked, but then again, we're only 35 seconds into this game, so yeah. Oh, in fact, it is going to be a drop once again. We're seeing from Blast, so I'm not sure what's going on here. Possibly battery related coming out of that last game.
could be, anything can happen in this arena, and it's a lot of technology to line up and make it all work for 8 players at a time, as well as us on the casting booth. We all feel the tech pains every now and then. So yeah, unfortunately for Blast, they're using their timeout, so they only have one aside from the one that they can use in between rounds. But this being their only timeout allowed in the whole set, so they will be if they continue to have these tech problems, may have to feel it and get a sub in here to try to fill in the gap. But unfortunately for them right now, it is their timeout and their tech issue as they have a player out of the arena. Perhaps this is just they need a little bit more time to take another breath and just have a moment, feeling the pressure and feeling the speed, as Team Gravity showed them right away that they're here to run and gun as they can, and as they very well will. Even though Gravity's almost completely a whole new team, the people that are on this roster are absolutely on the top of the game. Between Scubs, Baguette, and JBL, and Vitrix, of course, these guys are no slouch. This is absolutely the tops of the EU region.
Yeah, I really didn't expect this roster either coming through from Vertigo, as I mentioned a little bit before this game we were mentioning. Yeah, a little bit of a roster that maybe I'm just not up to date, but the roster from Gravity was quite surprising to me. I knew that Vertigo was what is now Vertigo was splitting ways. So what was the currently roster from Gravity in Season 4, which of course they won, but then they split off into Vertigo, and now Viatrex is leading a team on his own and picking up relatively new players, especially considering the difference in experience from last season to this season. And if anything, this is just showcasing how good the players are. Even if they don't have as much experience, maybe we'll see something in terms of interceptions. Maybe it's a little bit more difficult with the players, but they seem to be working very well together. And Gravity, again, are doing fantastic this season, able to be up with the big boys, as they always are, at least under the Gravity name. So,
Yep.
yeah, interesting season this was, and definitely still is, as Blast taking it from Vertigo, taking both games, in fact, from Vertigo, was also a little bit of a surprise. So just a really good season we're seeing so far. And again, last week of this cycle and the last week of it. So we'll see what can be had, and we'll see if Vertigo can come back, or if Gravity can win some more games here.
Yep, we see the whole Team Gravity over there at the nest, just staying frosty, staying on top of their acuities there. Little boost practice just wrapped up a second ago. These guys, they're clearly on top of their game. It's hard for them, definitely to keep going at the level they play at all the time. But when it is your level, it's a little bit easier. As we see here, the timeout does come out, and we will resume play here. Only about a half a minute off the clock. So we saw Team Gravity score the first 2 points of the round, and now it is Blast taking off on their first Joust disadvantage.
Yeah, and like I said last time, it's so difficult to deal with teams with fast stacks, and I have no doubt that Gravity, even though they're on a new roster, absolutely have that. I say new, it's been the same since the start of the season, just FYI, but in terms of from last season, still relatively new, especially considering the length that Gravity kind of stayed the same for 4 seasons and 1. So yeah, something a little bit different this time, is Neelywick actually getting stunned out here. So actually last game we saw Neelywick bringing the stuns and actually arguably being one of the best players here on the team, as they just managed to break up the stacks of Vertigo. But this time getting punched out. They can't win them all, as JBL crossing this one to Scubs. It's going to be a 2-point shot. Boop. Not quite able to catch that one. 18 MS. Difficult shot to save. And Gravity seem to be pulling it away. So maybe we are seeing Blast maybe get a little bit tired here.
I mean, it could be. That shot was on Scub's side. It was absolutely painting the corner. It's very hard to react to him at that speed, at that distance. Definitely with that kind of placement. Well, you see Boop handling the disc and coming out for Blast now, moving it down to Beaver, and Beaver slowing it down, taking the pressure, taking the stack, and just trying to rattle them and break them up a little bit as they play a little give and go past Monkey in the middle. Is now Beaver passing it across the arena now to Boop. Try to change directions a little bit. Got Beaver to Nillywick. Nillywick now looking downfield, turns it around, and unfortunately is read by JBL. Long shot's thrown, and it is sunk. What a beautiful throw from a long ways out. That was a 33-meter sink by JBL to take that up to a 7-0 lead on Team Gravity.
I think, is this guy going to stay on Rift S? Because he changed from CV1 to Rift S, and that was an insane 3-point shot coming through. Had no time whatsoever, and that's what just made that so much more hype as we see yet another interception. And Gravity running away with this now. We're seeing nowhere near as much speed as we saw. What's happened to Blast from last round? I'm not too sure, but they don't seem to be playing as well. Maybe it's the technical difficulties and maybe the timeouts we've seen at Wait. But yeah, as Finn said there in the chat, Rift S for 10 minutes and he makes that shot. Might be staying on that headset.
Right. I mean, sometimes that that first timer luck or intuition can take you a long way. I've seen I myself have switched headsets and played really well for a couple of weeks, and then found myself not playing as well after that. So maybe it could just be that the guy's absolutely cracked as well. So probably more of that. You see JBL handling the disc on their Rift S and moving it downfield, making a nice little bounce there off the Geo. It goes deep into the zone. Could be a bounce in. Scubs there to reclaim it. Taking care of business, 11-0. So Blast having a really hard time adjusting to Team Gravity and their tempo and the way that they're playing. It definitely is a different game than Vertigo was playing. Absolutely. Vertigo playing that super speed game, stack, 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 whereas Gravity is just kind of playing the breakaway game at the moment.
Yeah, this game a little bit slower, definitely, but I mean, still. The stack here just not being able to do as well in Blast here, as this clear goes a little bit awry, as I think what may be causing this is maybe Gravity's just winning at the stun game. I need to take a little bit of a closer look at what's happening in the midfield when the stacks are forming, so I'll get back to you on that, but it seems like Gravity has just got a perfect counter to Blast here. Maybe they've scrimmed them a few times, maybe they've figured it out, and maybe they've brought out their game plan for this game, but yeah, definitely looking, that's a really quick stack coming through from Blast. That's going to be a 3-point shot. Nillywick's going to make that. 11 MS and 11 meters away. So here we see Blast with their first 3 points, but we're about half the way through the game. Very interesting, I must say. I really expected them to have more points at this side, but nevertheless, maybe we'll see them pick up some pace.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, sometimes a team just has your number. If they do scrim quite a bit, they may know a lot more of the tricks. Dark and the nice read there with Beaver in tow, making the shot and making the difference there as they bring the difference down to 5 points. So only 2-goal difference now with just about half the round left. So Blast still absolutely in this. Perhaps just having a little adjustment issue in the front side of this match, and now they're getting on their game, and things will start heading the way we expect them to. We see the rollout happening there, and the pass through is immediately read and brought back into the blue side.
Yeah, and again, another clear coming through, and it seems like, in fact, that bounce is actually going to benefit them, because instead of going towards Scubs, who's already in goal, it's actually going to come towards the stack here of Blast and Dark. And now we're seeing a massive power move from Blast as they're coming through with the interceptions, they're coming through with the plays, and they're definitely bringing it back here. Just under half of the way to the game, and they've just suddenly brought this a lot closer.
Yeah, a lot closer. 3 unanswered goals on the side of Blast at the moment, so that has been the difference maker here, as 8 points are now on the board for them. Scubs handling the disc, rolling out, getting the first pass nice and clean all on the way to Viatrex. Viatrex is giving a couple pump fakes there, getting the cross pass made over to Baguette. Baguette, no pressure, not heavy pressure at least on the defense. They're still giving him a little space to work in. Viatrex now moving up the wall, getting the cross pass Baguette. Baguette getting that one picked off immediately by Boop. Boop has a moment to get that one crossed all the way across the arena. It looks like it could be a wall shot, almost on line, but Nugget has something to say about that. And it is then a loose disc being bopped around by the blue team. Gravity now reclaiming that one and throwing it through. That was on the hand of Scubs. The stack is, Leech was there, but not quite the whole stack. So we do see the loose disc moving. JBL looking for it, but it does get slapped by Boop.
Yeah, and Beaver here trying to grab a little bit of time here as we see him in a little bit of an awkward spot. Boop handing his way there with that pass opportunity there. Nilwick going to get this back pass, and again, looks like they're trying to beat the stack. That's gone a little bit too far, though. And here we see JBL take the disc into the bubble. That's going to be a 2-point shot. Real unfortunate there for Blast. That back pass is going to ride, but that's going to be, again, another 2-pointer for Gravity here.
Yeah, 2 points when they needed it the most. They had to stop the bleeding because it was, dark Nayluik, and then back to Scubs way back a few minutes back, over 200 seconds ago. So we're seeing finally Gravity answering the call. Fortunately, they banked up enough points to keep them absolutely in this and in command of this round. So it is still up to Blast to make up the difference here. They got 3 minutes left to try to make up these points, and they're moving the disc around very nicely, but not moving it forward just at a breakneck pace. Nearly finally moving that one forward nice and straight to Dark back to the reset. We have Beaver pushing over to Boop forward to Nearly handling the disc but under pressure, so they decide to slow it down again. Back to Boop. So we see it again, you hear the crashing of those stuns going on, so that there is some defensive stunning happening. Beaver handling the disc at the bow tie, pushing it over to Pack, where we have Boop hanging out, back again. So not liking that view. Playing a little monkey in the middle, trying it again. A little back and forth. So we see Blast is even though at a deficit of time and points, there's definitely working control. That one finally pays off for Baguette as the stack race is on. It bounces off the Geo deep into the orange side. The shot is on, and it is good. Scubs from the sidewall from 19 meters out and just sinks that one for a big difference maker there with 2 minutes left.
Blast cannot keep playing time like this. They don't have the time to play it back. They're half the points here. They've got 8 points to make up. They've got 2 minutes to do it. And it seems like a lot of time until you try as that team and try and make up those 8 points kind of from nothing here. They're really going to have to change up their game plan here as Blast. A little bit strange them conceding, in fact, them winning against Vertigo and then conceding a lot here to Gravity, who, Baguette comes through with another 3 points. This is going to be nigh impossible here for Blast now.
It's getting really tight for them now with 90 seconds to go. Math time is showing up, and I do believe it's going to be super close for them as far as being able to produce points in an effective way that's going to keep them in this game. It's 11 points they have to make up, and they have 18 seconds to make those 11 points. Not going to happen. So that time will click away, and this one will go in the side of Team Gravity. Amazing round for Gravity as they showed up and showed out that they can handle Team Blast and handle them cleanly. Beautiful setup. Blast looking around to get some momentum going here. Dark with the disc passing over to Nelywick on the sidewall. On the Geo and getting the point in. So Blast point is made. They're in this to stay. They can keep playing, and it can be their game, but it's going to be next round.
Yeah, this is. And I just want to take another look at this match page because I want to see what these votes are. On this game, because I know it was ridiculously on the side of Blast, and we're seeing the opposite here as once again that's a good 3-point shot, but it's not going to be enough. That's what they needed to do earlier on. They couldn't find time, but I can sense that Gravity are probably going to be pushing a little bit further back here. They've already won the round and they know that. They don't really have to put their full effort in. However, they probably should, because this is giving momentum here to Blast as they may carry this through into the second round, but we'll see. Maybe Gravity just bluffing here. There's Viatrax going to be able to get that pass, not quite, but nevertheless, once again, going to be Gravity's round, and that was unexpected, but really great round played by both teams, but especially by Gravity to come back like that.
Definitely unexpected. Do we have Offbeat with us still, or did he take off?
I do not think so.
Okay, well, we will take care of it from this point on. So, a really strong start out there from Team Gravity. As we saw, really good passing, good stacks, good every execution point you can talk about. Essentially, they covered it. Spreading the points around to almost everybody on the team. Scrubs leading off with 9 points on the side of Gravity. That heck of an effort, definitely. The stun zone you were talking about, there have been quite a bit of stunning. 2 players at 12 and 1 at 14. So all across the board, this is definitely a hard fought battle, and it's been back and forth, very close. As it shows, 13-19 the first round there.
Yeah, really good play there from Gravity, and here we've got the matchup. So you can vote, of course, on the VRML website who you think is going to win. And Blast has got 34 votes, and Gravity has 5. Wow. So take that for what you will. But I think that's pretty accurate for what the expectations were for Blast to come through and win this game. And I mean, why shouldn't it be that way? They just beat Vertigo, who is currently, or was, the champions of Season 5 so far. And they've beat them twice, and they've proven that they're better than Vertigo. And yeah, as we come through to round 2 here, as the tunnels open, and yeah, on to Newton.
Yeah, I mean, the speculation again with Laddie is saying perhaps these guys are just tired. Blast has worked really hard up to this point. They've seen a heavy pressure, in every single round they've played. They played a 3-rounder against Vertigo, and then now they're playing, a very tight match here with Team Gravity. It is definitely mentally taxing as well as physically taxing to be able to play at that level for that long. Scubs now with the disc at the half court, moving it forward and not looking at the shot, just trying to clear it down and dump it in the zone. Niliuk claiming that one. Not quite able to get rid of it before the stun comes in. It is now in the hands of Beaver, yeah, and moving it forward, long clear there, but not to anybody in particular. So the stack race is on. Looks like the blue team is coming back first. So Gravity claiming that one and able to set up a little bit on defense to get this thing out of their zone. Passing across, looking really good. Vitrix passing it right back to their side. Unfortunately, nobody there to catch that one. It is now Boop handling that one, crossing it over, but just missing that cross pass. So a little loose on both ends of both sides of the teams here. As again, the disc is free, but the stack is heading for that one. So perhaps a dribble strategy there. Again, back and forth, the changing possessions over and over in a matter of seconds. So we're seeing that cross passing working, but not quite there. The cleanup's there by Dark. Dark moving over, looking, finding Beaver. Beaver crossing Niliuk. Niliuk choosing backing out to Boop. So they had a couple moments there where they might have had a little bit of number advantage, but not quite finishing it up.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of what Blast want to do here. They're taking control of this game, but they do need to finish it. I mean, there's kind of enough to walk it through here, but Boop looking for the finish, and they do with that 2-point shot, but the risk that you take in dribbling it around, you're definitely showing your possession advantage, as they have 62% possession right now on Blast, but they definitely need to finish it, maybe a little bit quicker, especially when we get to the later rounds of the game when they absolutely need to bring points, but that's what they'll do, and right now they seem like they're just trying to kind of take their dominance, if nothing else, and here it's not seemed to work, or it has, sorry, as they do get possession once again off that interception. Dark with this back pass, and coming through is Beaver, and the back pass to Bowtie, and again they're just walking it through a little bit slowly, but maybe picking up the pace now. This back pass coming through to Boop. He's a little bit vulnerable, but it's not going to matter. They have plenty of passes to choose from, and there comes Beaver once again. Beautiful passing play, and now they are showing that they definitely want to be the better team.
Yeah, the rotation that we saw there as Beaver moved to the bottom of the screen to take that pass, that was just beautiful play. I mean, you can't it doesn't get any better than that, and that's why these guys are master tier, because they play so well. They know where they need to be and when they need to be there. Scubs handling the disc, making that first connection over to Viatrix. Viatrix passing all the way across and getting Baguette getting stunned immediately into the hands of the orange team. Now, Boop moving it forward, having a pass there into Dark. Dark under pressure, but dances around a bit and finishes that one off. Now it is 6-0. So, we had no score for the first couple of minutes of this thing. Now we have a 6-0 lead on the side of Blast. Blast doing now what Gravity did in the first round, the early lead.
Absolutely, and there I think we see showcased again just how difficult it is to deal with a player that's upside down and knows kind of how to manipulate the defense. They can just walk it through, and Dark had some players on him for quite a while there, but it didn't really phase him, and he walked through. Maybe you can get punished for that if you're a little bit too generous with the time to the other team, but so far we've seen him use the time very well, and we see Blast. I actually didn't recognize just how much, 63% possession right now. It's a Blast in fact. Ooh. That's going to be Beaver taking this possession, but no, it's going to be stolen back by Scubs and cleared away. But Blast have almost 2 minutes of possession over Gravity as it stands right now. That's so much time in just 2 rounds or 1.5 rounds. And Scubs looks to make the 3-point shot. That's not quite going to go through. Beaver, good recognition there and a really good read. That's going to be cleared all the way through, and it's the stack race. It's going to be Blast winning it. The 3-point shot coming through. Is it going to be on target? Yes, it is. Niliuk finding that 3-point shot, and 9-0. Now Blast running away completely with round 2.
Yeah, that turnover and the turnaround game, that interception game for me, it is often the deal maker of a team that is really going to show take the leads and take them quick. The conversions are hard, and it's hard to get your team coordinated to move forward like that. And that's really a sign of a team that knows knows their communication and knows how to stay together in stacks. You see the passing happening again on the side of Gravity. It gets broken up again as you see Dark walking in, taking the shot, but not making it through. It is saved that time, and is moved back to the other side of the arena. Baguette handling it with a long throw, making it in. That one is 36.5 meters, 17 meters per second, and absolutely what Team Gravity needed at that moment to break the silence.
Yeah, and 5 minutes ago, and there's definitely still time here for Gravity to come back and maybe put this one in the mud as a 2-round game. But I definitely somewhat doubt it, especially considering this joust. But we do see this joust, quote, disadvantage come through, as, again, these teams are so fast, but we're not seeing quite the speed from Gravity as we saw from Vertigo, and that's kind of expected. It's just a different playstyle. At the end of the day, they're a little bit more calculated, and I know this is the way that Viatrex likes to play, so... This is how Gravity is going to play, and it definitely seems to be... Well, it seemed to work out in round 1, as Baguette's just going to put this one through. And great stuns coming through. Again, just stopping that blast stack. And Gravity are definitely not going out without a fight. They could bring this one to 2 rounds.
Yeah, Gravity, if they can step it back up, we'll see this thing happen in 2 rounds. But, Blast having the say currently, really wanting to bring this into 3. This is actually not Palador. This is Newton Dad, but I do have that Palador sort of sound every now and then. The disc now moving around from Beaver. Beaver moving over to Dark. Dark now having some time to not have to race into the decision making as the stacks don't make it in very quickly into the blue zone. Niluk with handling the disc.
Oh.
Wow, what a dive from Scubs. Handling that disc beautifully, taking it away in midair, bringing it back out to the mid. Beaver picks it up though on an interception there. Boop now turning it around, making the cross pass over to Niluk. Niluk backing it out, so not liking it to moving too far forward too fast. Taking a full back reset now to Boop. Boop under pressure there, gets the pass off, but no, not to anybody in particular. The cleanup is there. Nilowick finishing that one off, 11-5. It is now a 6-point lead, 3.5 minutes to go in round 2. If Blast takes this one, we go to round 3.
Yeah, saying that you hear Pally, that's a really good... that's a really good compliment.
I can't imagine they're
as
talking
far as
about you.
customers
Your accent's a little bit different than Pally, so I'm assuming they mean me. It's all
go. Either way, we'll take it.
I can't pun like him, though. There's no way. There's no way I can flow like that, man. Oh, my God. Speaking of flow, look at that shot. And the cleanup is there. Nilowick finishing that one off for Blast. Blast now running away with this one. But this is the Blast we saw heading off against Vertigo last round. And they adjusted again. Honestly, they're making this happen on adjustments.
Absolutely, and again, as we saw kind of from Vertigo in round 2, in the last game, we saw Vertigo make all those adjustments, but they weren't quite able to bring it to 3 rounds, but or they did manage to take it 3 rounds, but they didn't manage to win the 3rd round, sorry. And yeah, we saw kind of the same thing from them. They really were able to come back just based on reading the enemy's plays and their experience. And I think this is showing from Blast here. And this team definitely has a really good orchestration together. As Boop looking to send this through. And the stack not quite formed just yet, but it is on its way. Blast, Nilowick looking for that behind the back shot once again. Beaver is going to be able to recover that. It's a good positioning there for Beaver, but looking to send it in once again. Nilowick maybe looking for this back pod. Bass, no, gonna pass it back, and playing a little bit, dare I say, like Gravity now. This is kind of what we saw from Gravity, not only this season, but it's kind of the way that Viatrex likes to coordinate their players, and it definitely works very well. But Blast taking one out of their book. And they're doing just the same, as this is intercepted by Scubs. And he was the goalie, and he dived out. That was a massive dive from Scubs, but definitely works out. Oh, but here comes JBL, and that's going to be a 3-point shot. A little bit of a tight angle, but, I mean, he's definitely not going to be walled down by that headset change.
Yeah, I mean, that's the danger of playing those passes in the zone. And no matter how far apart you are, you can always get red because the stack can catch up with those, or you just get a player that gets in the lane and manages to intercept it. The interception and turnover and the score happens so quickly, though, because these teams are so coordinated and their comms, I imagine, are just so good. I would love to hear them sometime. Unfortunately, we don't get to hear them as casters in these games. Viatrex handling the disc now. The pressure is on. Team Gravity needing to produce. They have 1 minute and 16 seconds to finish this game off and finish this day off for themselves. Dark and company on the side of Blast having something to say about that, and absolutely at the moment saying, no, I don't think that's going to happen. We're going to go to round 3. So the disc is now loose again in the blue zone. It's picked up by Dark. Dark moving forward. He has a pass over. Gets it to Boop. Boop backs it out again. It is now Beaver handling it on the back line. Boop taking the pass back to Beaver. Beaver looking around with the stack right there. Back to Boop. Boop moving it
Oh.
over to the near side to Dark. Dark taking a shot. The shot
Oh.
is good! And it is now 16-8. Double the points on the side from Blast to Gravity. And this one looks like it's going to be hard for them to finish up other than this way.
Yeah, Blast just massively bringing this one back after a really convincing win by Team Gravity in the first round, but they're definitely not giving up, and you absolutely have to admire that. Coming from this win from Vertigo, we expected them, of course, to have the momentum, but it's also kind of questionable because that's a really difficult game to win. As this 3-point shot coming through, not quite going to find it for Gravity. Not really going to matter at this point, but nevertheless, you take all the points you can get here. It does make a tiny MMR advantage, but more than that, it makes a advantage in terms of your momentum coming into the next round. But nevertheless, it is going to be round 3, and a 3-point shot coming through, not quite going to find its way past the shield.
Wow, what a round. Going from one side to the other, just in between rounds, and watching Blast make these adjustments that they made, it made all the difference. The stats are going to tell the story, but the honesty is what happened on the screen is the real story. You saw Blast just doing all the things they needed to do in the proper order to get it done. I mean, it's really a beautiful work of art that they're producing here in the form of Echo Play. As silly as that may sound, the motion that they create is just amazing, and it's something that those of us who are not Master Tier players have to really sit back and go, I am astounded.
Absolutely, yeah, and just amazing gameplay, of course, from both teams. But Blast's ability to come back in this round, and I can't imagine that they're at their 100% peak right now. Maybe they are, but they definitely have to be tired coming out of this round, and this one going to round 3. So they've got, they played 2 games in a row. They have about the hardest matchups that they can possibly get, and the longest, because both games are going to 3 rounds. This is really putting Blast to the test here. And I think in terms of warming up for cups, this is really good because Blast's ability to play in an extended period of time, it's really what matters when it comes to the cups. And you can say what you want about matches getting placed close together. There's not really a way to circumvent that when it comes to cups. You have to be able to play multiple games in a row, and that's what really gets showcased in terms of cups. But we are taking our way into round 3. And this could really go either way, but we do see Blast get a little bit more momentum as Gravity does take this first, and now it's going to be passed downfield, but not quite finding it. In fact, JBL's there to recover, so a little bit unexpected there, as that's a free goal for Scubs after getting that pass from JBL. Great awareness there. It's going to be Gravity starting with the first 2 points of the round.
Yeah, I almost feel like the Blast is not a Joust team. They seem to have given up that first point consistently over the course of these 2 rounds, or these 2 games. It doesn't seem to matter in the long run, but it is just an interesting anomaly that does happen. Boop with the disc now rolling out to the right side, immediately turns it right back around. The waiting defense is right there. It is Viatrix with putting a hand on that one and clearing it deep in as the boost is there, the clear is there, and the baguette is there. Everybody's there. It's Team Gravity 4-0 now as they start out this 3rd round super strong.
Yeah, and I mean, like last round, we're seeing Gravity come back once again from, well, of course, they were coming off a win in the first round, this time coming back from a loss in that 2nd round, so we'll see what they can do here as we see Blast start with it. So we'll see how Blast are going to take this Joust advantage. And once again, as that one's not quite going to work. Gravity able to get the intercept now, clearing boosting here into it. JBL is going to be free. Oh, but that dunk's going to miss! JBL just missing it there, but that's going to be a tight angle from Baguette, and he's going to be able to make that 2 off the recovery. Some great recoveries here we're seeing from Team Gravity, and Blast not quite going to be able to clear it away. So yeah, if it keeps going like that, Blast are going to have a really tough time getting out of their tunnel, but they have some really good players on their team. They can certainly figure out a way to come against this here, as they're going to just go for the fast route, and that's going to definitely work here. There is a goalie here for Team Gravity, but we're going to see Beaver walk it in. Again, another pass to Niliwick, another one to Beaver, but a save from Scubs, and that one's going to be sent out. Not quite out of the side here as Dark comes back, but here we see the stack here from Team Gravity. Not quite going to be a straight line there, so difficult to get off the stack. They're going to lose a lot of time, but the 3-point shot's still open, and it bounces in from the post. Excellent shot once again from Baguette, and he's really making these tight angle shots today.
So the theme of the day in this game, Blast versus Team Gravity, is strong starts. The team who started strong has finished strong and finished the round on top. So if that's any indication of what's going to happen, it looks like Team Gravity could possibly take this round 3. If Blast needs to step up right here, right now. If I were them, I might be taking a timeout. Wait, they took their timeout in the first round, didn't they not? Yeah, so they don't even have a timeout to take. So unfortunately, they have to deal with what they see and keep on going here. His passing is working very nicely on the side of Blast now, moving the disc around in the blue bubble seemingly at will until that point where it is bounced off the wall, unfortunately, and it is then recovered by Viatrix, sending it into the middle of the arena. Picked up again, Scubs bouncing it off the head there, moving it forward and a little help. It is picked up by Niliwick. Niliwick moving it out, but then getting it intercepted by JBL. Past to Baguette, unfortunately picked off, and it is now up to Dark to clear it out of their zone. It is clear.
They're going to do that. Might have even been on target. It is going to be caught by Baguette in its tracks. Not sure. Couldn't really tell by the camera angle, but that definitely looked like it was getting mail slotted. JBL going to be able to take it here from the hands of Niliwick, and now Gravity with possession once again. We're going to see classic Gravity play. They're going to back it out and find some time, and the time is on their side this time. And it's going to be a cross here from JBL to Scubs. Not quite bringing it in just yet. Baguette's able to fly through and not quite going to be able to get a stun on the goalie, but going to be able to bother him enough so that he's able to get it past.
Yeah, where did Team Blast go, y'all? Where did they go? They took the break in between round 2 and round 3, and I think they're still out having fish and chips or something. I don't know. These guys are not the team that just played this last round in round 2 because they do not look anything like them. Beaver handling the disc down low, inverted. Perhaps that's a new strategy that they've been keep on employing here. It is working out for them at the moment. Passing is looking good again, moving into the blue bubble. Nearly handling it and passing to the center there, just dinged by Dark. So unfortunately, that is not the right time to be having that happen. Beaver reclaiming it, moving up again. It is now Dark moving in front of the goal, swinging the arm around. Scubs reading that one and denying it. So that is unfortunate. Blast not able to put any points on the board from that whole possession, even though it was right there in front of the goal. It's Beaver now handling the disc inverted on the ceiling, moving again one more time forward. Dark taking the shot that time, finishing it off, and it is now 2-11 on the side of Gravity.
Yeah, and here comes Blast once again, trying to find their way back in this game. There's 5 minutes left, but there's definitely a mountain to climb now. There's 9 points standing between them now. And that's quite a big lead, probably the biggest lead we've seen in this whole game, if that's right. But yeah, I mean, it was 11-0, but we've seen the first couple of points. And here comes the stack now, not quite going to be on target, but it's definitely going to be putting a lot of pressure on. But Scub's actually able to break it up, so that's going to slow them down so much. And if Gravity pushes now, they're going to have a big man advantage. Not quite choosing to put it. Maybe they didn't have their stacks ready or something like that. It's just not the game plan that they're going for right now. But either way, they still maintain possession here. Viatrix very calm and collected, but that's going to be a good read there from Boop, staying exactly where he was. Viatrix not quite able to see Boop there, so trying to make that pass, but it is intercepted. Oh, that's not good. Dark might end up with a disc here, and he does, but he doesn't have a lot of time. He does manage to get Viatrix with that stun, but it is going to be cleared out here for Team Gravity.
Yeah, Gravity having all the time on their side at the moment, so all they really have to do is control the disc. But actually finishing another one like that is going to really put a thorn in the side of Blast. Blast having less than half of this round now to take care of a 14-2 deficit. They need to step up now, or this one is just going to be over.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 minutes left on the clock. Seems like a lot of time, but yet again, Gravity are not done making points. You can't really say that there is enough time because Gravity could just get a couple more goals, and you know what's stopping them from doing that? And that would almost certainly guarantee them this game win. As that's an excellent shot, not quite going to hit, just going to bounce off the post, but it will be still a 3-point shot coming through from Scubs on that tight angle. And I mean, we just got some outstanding shooters here on Gravity. Even if that shot didn't quite make it, and that was an excellent angle to take, and I mean, that might as well have just gone in.
Yeah, the mental game that's happening on Team Blast, I can imagine, is rather difficult. Now you're in the third round for the second time in a row, and you're down this time by a sizable amount of points. You're tired, and you've seen pressure for the last hour and a half essentially, continuously. So imagine they warmed up as well before that. So there's a lot of gameplay happening there, and Gravity is not relenting. So they are just going to keep the pressure on. They're choosing not even to just control the disc; they're keeping the pressure on and trying to shoot actively, continuously. Beaver handling the disc now for Blast, moving it deep into the zone, making the connection to Boop, but Boop gets brain dumped right there as the stun comes through. The big clear coming out, nobody picking it up just yet. It is back in the hand of Beaver though, trying to keep it out of the orange zone. They do manage to get it cleared out of the zone, but then turn right back around to the side of Gravity. Scubs handling at that time, throwing it all the way out and not finding an immediate pass. So we're just playing a little bit of ping pong back and forth, big possession times. As again, everything that happens right now is to the advantage of Gravity.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Gravity pick it up once again. 2.5 minutes on the clock. This is not going to be easy, and it's actually barely doable as it stands right now. And that's kind of ignoring how difficult these shots are going to be. Another one coming over from over half court. It's not going to matter. Scub's going to be able to take it back, and we're really seeing this this stack of Blast toning down a little bit on the speed, and that must be because they're tired. You know, they have a couple of young players on their team, but they also have a couple of slightly older players, and of course they do get that that advantage of being able to be a little bit more aware because we've been playing for so long. But you know, maybe that plays a part in this stamina game. But either way, it doesn't really matter who you are. Playing these 6 rounds against these teams is just going to be really tiring, you know, mentally and physically. As Scubs is able to take this one away, that's going to be heartbreaking here for Blast. It's really going to make it difficult now, and not sure if it's possible.
And how many times have we seen Scubs do that today? Dive out of the goal and come out with the disc. It's just it's incredible the ability that that player has in that goal. You see, you know, the disc is again free. Every second that ticks by is a second that Blast needs to have a goal happening for them. So unfortunately, it looks like there is no more mathematical time. So this round will go to Team Gravity, taking the 2 out of 3 rounds from Blast, who just beat Vertigo. So there, I mean, this is an interesting day. Baguette landing that long shot, just adding more final to that one as we have the Mercy in place. Wow, what a day.
How does that even happen? I mean, once again, an upset, and this one even more than the last, I would argue. You know, Gravity were not expected to win this, even though they are a fantastic team. They definitely brought through and showed that today. You know, I told you the votes before. It was let's have a look. It's 34-5 to Blast as the prediction votes, and I mean, yeah, I believed it, to be honest. Before this game, I absolutely believed it. I didn't really believe that, especially after that performance from Blast we saw last game. You know, we really didn't expect Gravity to be the ones to take him down.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, yeah, we've seen that happen. And, we've seen it happen a couple of times. But Blast not taking this game today. And in fact, that third round Mercy is incredible.
That makes a statement for sure, and it sets the tone for the weeks coming, for the Elite Cup coming up, for the LAN coming up, for the standings changing as they will. So you saw the number 3 team take out the number 1 team today, and then you see the number 2 team take out the number 3 team. So you know, a nice little tumble as those 3 teams moved around. I'm not sure what happened to Koi. They played as well, you know, in this time window as well while we were in play. So there could be a pretty decent shuffle in the top 6 there. In the EU region, but some really phenomenal play all the way across the board, without question.
So, I believe, did Koi play Scuffed? No, that was last week, so we've yet to see the results coming, I think, from Koi. But in terms of, let's see, Phantoms also played the same time as we saw last game. I doubt the scores will be in for that one as well yet. Not quite in yet, I don't think, so we're still waiting to see, but so far the standings count, and let me remind you, for the Duckman LAN, it will be the top 6 teams competing against each other at LAN, so going to be very important for that. The standings currently count. Vertigo, Gravity, that's going to change, of course, from today. So it goes Vertigo, Gravity, Blast, Koi, Team, and Phantoms ending it off at number 6 there. So, you know, this definitely is going to change because we've not seen these games get submitted yet. So yeah, keep an eye on that bracket for sure, on the standings for EU, because it's definitely going to get close, especially for Phantoms, who is the team at risk of not playing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's good stuff, and it's good to see a little bit different seasoning. You know, we've seen season after season where it's been the same, you know, top 2 or 3 teams without any breakup in the tops at all, and we're seeing that on both sides of the equation. You're seeing the NA region as well. Not always is Ignite at the very top anymore. So you know, this is the time that we've kind of, a lot of us as fans have been waiting for, to see a little bit of breakup in the dynasty teams, and to see, you know, who can take over in this next generation of Echo play as we enter, you know, this season 5, season 6, and so on. But definitely fun stuff and fun to share it with you today, Swift.
Absolutely, and I think closing it off here, but I just got to sneak in there, that there was a 2 minutes difference between that possession in all 3 rounds. 2 minutes, so 9 minutes 39 seconds to 7 minutes 32, and Gravity are actually down 2 minutes on possession, but that just shows how quickly they retaliated and how clean their play was and how outstanding their game was. But yeah, excellent game we've seen today, and yeah, any words to close it out?
No, I'm glad you guys could join us. It was good to see everybody out there in the chat. We look forward to casting more matches. Probably set up a set for North America tonight. Not as many Master Tier plays playing this weekend, though, in the North American side. We are skipping venues, so if you're looking for that this weekend, there won't be any venues either in EU or NA. I believe that is Overwatch who's doing the venues this week. They have some cup going on for themselves. So tune into that if you're interested in that, or just hang out and look for the next ones coming up from VRML.
Absolutely, and yeah, thank you again, everybody, so much for watching. Everyone in the chat, thank you for voting in that first game. And I've been Swift. That's been Newton Dad, Wonder T-Man on the cams, of course. Can't forget him. And we had Offbeat join us last game, although unfortunately having some tech issues. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I've been Swift once again, and goodbye.
VRML Echo Arena is brought to you by HyperX, Asterion Products, Border Foods, VR Cover, ProTube VR, Rebuff Reality, and VRware.net.